Hey guys, how y'all doing today? My name is Franchise Fanatic and welcome back to the channel. And today, if you guys, is another Ninjago video. Today we're tackling episodes 13 through 30 of Ninjago Season 15, aka Ninjago Crystalized. So, if you have not seen the season, you know, how this entire basically show, I know it's not the end of the show, so to speak, we're getting content next year, but from the pilot through Season 15, this is like the big, you know, Iron Man through Endgame style, or the Phantom Menace through the Rise of Skywalker style thing. So this is technically like the big finale of Ninjago as far as we know it so far. The current storyline is basically over. Now, it's going to be on Netflix October 10th, so in a few days here. So the reason I saw it, I just looked up the Google Drive. I couldn't effing wait anymore. I didn't want to get spoiled. But basically, if you have not seen it, do not watch this video until you have seen it. Unless you don't give a crap about spoilers, and, you know, yeehaw. But other than that, we're going to get right into it. So, episode 13, basically is where we find out how Harumi survived, you know, the building collapse. Because in Hunted, Season 9, you know, literally she freaking, like, a building falls on her. And we're like, wait, is she dead? And it was, yes, she definitively died. And then she comes back in episode 12, we're like, how the F is she alive? And then people are like, oh, they did it because you can't die in Lego. That's not the reason. First of all, yeah, you can die in Ninjago. It's not a baby show. And second, she actually did die. You actually do see her effing body. She's literally like freaking crushed by steel. So yes, the building fell on her. She did definitively, in the canon, die. She went to the cursed realm, or sorry, the departed realm. I get them confused. The departed realm, where she meets the Overlord. Now, this is where we find out that the Crystal King is the Overlord. We already freaking knew that because the stupid trailer gave it away. Where Garmin on a loiter in the library or whatever, and they're just kind of talking. Kind of dumb, but whatever. Basically, the Overlord says, look, you know, I've kind of been watching you, and you either can work for me, and I'll grant you life, or you can just stay here in the departed realm and just, basically, it's like Lego Hell or like Lego Purgatory. And Harumi, you know, kind of redeemed in Season 9. Not really fully good, but her last act before death was something good. She then decides, all right, well, I'm just going to effing, you know, kind of do this. And it basically, you know, I kind of took it as Harumi not saying, yeah, I want to be evil again. This was her saying, I want to live, like, in general. So she's like, yeah, I'll just freaking follow you. And then that's when she gets the purple eyes and Asphira, and they all kind of, you know, recruit together. And that's when the Overlord kind of takes shape. Of course, Lloyd gets captured and all that. There's a lot of really cool fights in there, and, you know, I think anytime you see Lloyd and Harumi together, I know people hate it. Some people are like, oh, they don't deserve to be together. Regardless of that, I think that Britt McKillop and, you know, Sam Vincent, Harumi and Lloyd's voice actors, they do a great job. I mean, every time they're effing on screen, the chemistry, it's there and it works, you know what I mean? Even though they're enemies and all that, it's really, really great to see that, you know, it isn't cheesy or it doesn't feel forced. And, yeah, they're Lego, but that never stopped anything in the past, you know what I mean? Lego is just the medium they chose to tell their story. That doesn't inherently make it bad or stupid or childish or even good. But they made it good because of the great chemistry between these actors. And every time you're following them, you know, in the show, you're like, this is effing, like, this is engaging, you know? And it's not just those two, it's everyone is engaging, but it is pretty cool to see. And then we get some of the best action scenes in the entire show with, of course, the fall of the monastery, where Wu and Skylar and Nia and Mini Pix 7 or whatever, you know, they kind of fight. And it ends with, you know, the monastery literally effing burning for like the 18,000th time. But this time it felt different. The music, the action, just the whole anxiety of it all. Like, this is the first time it's weird. I get anxiety watching Ninjago sometimes because it truly, like, sucks me in. Like, the writing and the acting and the animation, the music, everything here is just so top-tier level good that if you're not sucked in, I don't know if you're even effing human. Because it's that good of storytelling. And this season, ever since episode 1, but especially 13 through 30, it's got that, man, in freaking drones, man. It's insane. And the fact that they have all this stuff in there, it's really cool that they were able to kind of, you know, balance all these tones. And yeah, it's emotional. It's really effing stressful at times, you know, because they're leading up to this final battle between the Overlord, basically the devil of Ninjago, and, you know, the heroes and all that. So it really is crazy. And because they're doing 11-minute formats, you know, they're not doing the 22-minute like Season 1 through 10. They had some differences, but whatever. Some of them are specials or, you know, whatever. But because there's 30 episodes, the final episode, Roots, is not the final battle. Like, the last 5 or 6 episodes of the final battle. So when when you finally get there, and Lloyd and Garmin and Harumi turns good, and, you know, the Overlord gets his ass kicked, it's really, holy cow, we're here, you know what I mean? And I know this isn't the end, but it really does have that final sense to it. And I think Harumi's redemption was good. I think that, really the whole reason why she even turned bad is because she truly believed the ninja were a part of the Devourer's, killing of her parents and all that. And to be fair, they kind of are. They're not completely at fault. Harumi had some points. She just chose to act on in a kind of a garbage way. But, just that moment where the Overlord is like, I'm the one that corrupted the snake. I'm the one that... I mean, that was a... I literally said holy shit out loud because that was a holy shit moment, okay? I'll just tell you. That was a crazy moment because, I always just thought, oh, okay, the Great Devourer is just an evil snake and it just bit him and whatever. But the fact that the Overlord kind of controlled this like Palpatine almost from the very beginning is freaking insane. Harumi hears that, the Overlord, the person she literally depended on for life eternal, life anew again after her death in Season 9. Once she finds out that he's in charge and he was the one that did all that, she's like, oh, well, this changes everything. Maybe it could have been a little more, I guess explained, but it's not bad, and I enjoy it. I think her turning good wasn't sappy or, oh, I'm good now, Ninjago, it was a good way to do that. I think it was really cool. And again, the final battle was amazing. Garmadon's quote-unquote death, I almost cheered up a little bit, especially Lloyd crying over his dad. But it did turn out that, he was just kind of faking to, kind of help Lloyd achieve his Oni form, which was cool. I know some people were complaining, oh, Lloyd using his Oni form, they didn't really do enough with it, but that's the point. Lloyd didn't want to become... One of his greatest fears, as we saw in Season 11, when he looked in the mirror, was that he didn't want to be like his dad. So when he finally gives into his rage and he just beats the shite out of the Overlord, he looks at his mirror in the crystal and he's like, no, I ain't doing this. There's freaking no way. I'm not doing that. And it's pretty cool that, they even did that. And the fact that the Overlord... I'm filming this at night. Just boom! And I'm kind of sick. Just boom! Just completely destroys the Overlord in like one fell swoop. The fact that the ninja all kind of come together in the end and essentially sacrifice their powers to kind of form... It's not the Ultra Dragon, because the Ultra Dragon was killed and eaten by the, the hunted guys and all that. Iron Baron and his buddies. Dark, I know. Ninjago's full of dark moments, trust me. I'm surprised it's not on Adult Swim. But it very much is a cool moment to see. All the Golden Dragon and all that. Again, not the Ultra Dragon, but it is a Golden Dragon. Basically, the dragon form. If the Overlord is like the ultimate Oni, so to speak, even more, powerful than Omega, I would say that, that dragon form is basically like the highest of the dragon, obviously, because it's effing dragon, but you know what I'm saying. But it was a good conclusion, I think. It was pretty cool. Probably one of the most epic, if not the most epic final fight in Ninjago history, right? And there's a lot of good final fights, for the seasons at least, but this is, really, really cool. And then, of course, the season, the show at this point basically ends where Garmadon, kind of takes Christofern, the plant. I was kind of nervous about Garmadon, I ain't gonna freaking lie. So I was like, Garmadon is my favorite villain in franchise history. Don't F him up. And they made him kind of like Bro Thor, where he's kind of fat, that where Thor's playing video games in the shack or whatever in Endgame. But they didn't do it to that extreme. He's learning how to become, kind of a brand new person. And I'm going to make a separate video probably talking about Garmadon from like the pilot all the way to Crystalized, because it's a very, very in-depth and crazy character arc this guy goes through. But, the end is basically, he tries to... Then he's like, care for something. That's the first step to being good. Care for something. And he cares for Christopher and this plant. And at first I was like, that's kind of dumb. Like, why the hell is he caring for a plant? But it turns out he cares for this plant. And he literally mentions it, that there's a metaphor between he cares for this plant that is green, and he also cares for his son, who is the green ninja. And he can't quite tell his son that he loves and cares for him, so he does that through this plant. And when the plant gets destroyed, he turns into his Oni form, and he kind of goes back to being typical Garmadon for the most part. And then in the end, he plants the root again, signifying that he is kind of renewing his love for the world and his son and all that. And it's really beautiful stuff. And, it kind of ends with him helping Lloyd rebuild, which is pretty effing cool. And Master Wu's last words, remarkable, truly remarkable. Not only just the show in a fourth wall breaking sense, but also in a terms of, kind of seeing Garmadon, who is basically one of the most crazy embodiments of evil, helping Ascendon at the end and showing that he actually cares for him. It's really freaking powerful stuff. My only negative of this entire season, or in this, I guess, final battle, would be Sally's song. Of course, Sally's not my favorite character. They did, I was really glad they didn't do anything woke. She has like the gay pride shit flag, whatever, on the thing. Yeah, whatever. It's not too crazy. It's not hand-fisted down your throat, so I'm, whatever at this point. Whatever. I don't care. I'm indifferent. I'm straight, so I don't really give a crap. But at least they didn't shove it down your throat. She's not like making out with a chick in the background. They're like, look at us, we're Legos. You know what I mean? Not like that. But it is, in terms of wokeness, the Rise of Skywalker did it a little bit. Endgame did it a little bit, But thankfully this didn't have it. But overall, her song playing at the background does make sense. But, I wouldn't have picked that song. I would have, I think, chosen like the Ninjago, just a I would have chosen that and not her song. It's not a bad song. I don't like that style of music. I like more action, my tribute kind of songs than like tween girl pop. Obviously, I'm not a tween girl, but it's not a bad song. And for a Lego show, it's not a bad song either. But it definitely, I would have used something different. But it makes sense to the plot, it makes sense to the lore, it makes sense to where we're at in the story. So I'm not going to hate it. But that's my only true negative of the entire season, really. Another negative, which I'm not really going to bring up here in terms of like a rating, but Andrew Francis as Cole. Kirby Morrow died from drugs, and it sucks. All right, it's just you can't walk around that. Cole was my favorite ninja. He still is. But Kirby Morrow was a great voice actor. I don't know him personally. It's like T'Challa, Chadwick Boseman. Sucks he died, but I'm not going to cry into my pillow about it. You know what I mean? You move on. I'm not whitewashed internet. You know what I mean? All that bullshit. It's just, it sucks. You move on with your day. There's no reason to cry and freak out. If you want to cry, be my guest. But, I wouldn't. I would be, oh my God! I don't do that. I cry watching a Lego show, but I don't cry when someone dies. I don't know. Maybe I'm weird. But, so at least someone I don't know. And I didn't know Chadwick or Kirby. But the new guy, Andrew Francis, who is also the voice of Morrow, he sucks. All right? He's a good voice actor. Like, he delivers his lines well. It's just, it's not and I'm not saying I'm better than Kirby Morrow, but I'm better at doing my Cole voice than Andrew Francis. And maybe he wasn't trying to 100% replicate it, but it's not good. And I don't like it. And I know that's probably all they went, but, they kind of did a bit of a cop-out. They're like, who do we get? I don't know. Some guy who's already been with us for 6 years? It's like, just get me. Get me. I don't know. But it is kind of wonky to see, just to hear his voice. It's not really good. It doesn't sound like Cole, And again, I'm not saying I'm the perfect Cole voice, but instead of being like, come on, we're Ninja, and we're a team, and we need to do this, and we need to make Master Wu proud. It's like, yeah, guys, I'm Cole. I don't know. I don't like it. It just sounds too much like Morrow. I don't know. But it is what it is. That's not really a negative. I'm not going to impact that for the score. Just personally, I don't like Andrew Francis as Cole. Sure, he's a good person. I don't know. He's not my Cole. They should have gotten someone else. Maybe not me. Should have been me. But, maybe not me. But it should have been me. So I do think that overall, in this end of Ninjago, again, it's crazy, man. We're at the end of this era. It really is. Again, that Iron Man to Endgame, Phantom Menace to Rise of Skywalker type deal. This show has been a part of my childhood since I was probably 10 or 11 years old. And as I get older, my love for this franchise only grows. It didn't diminish. It never got to a point where I felt this is kiddie or I'm growing out of it. Because ever since season 1, this show has been very well animated, well directed, good music, and very good writing. The writing is everything. If you have shit writing or kiddie writing, it's over. You know what I mean? But this show is the perfect embodiment, in my opinion, of an animated show that is perfect for every age group. And I know I say it all the time, but now that we're at the end, there were no moments where I felt, oh, this got too kiddie or this got too lame. Ever since season 1, it just kept getting better and better. It's like a snowball. It just kept growing and growing and growing and bigger and better and better and better. And the fact that we're, at this end is pretty insane. I can't wait to just rewatch it all one day and just think back on it. But this franchise is a big part of my life. And I know to say that, oh, Lego Ninjago really made my life better. But it effing did. It really, truly did. It didn't make me a better person or anything, but it taught some great lessons. It was a very fun, engaging show. Great lore. And, it really did just, it made me look at animated shows as not just, SpongeBob's great, but, that show, for example, that is more of a watch season 1, episode 1, or watch season 10, episode 10. It doesn't matter. You kind of watch whatever the F you want. This show is like, it's a saga. If you start at season 8 first, you don't know what the fudge is going on. You got to watch from season 1 to 15. And, that really showed me, wow, animated shows can be as in-depth, or if not more in-depth than movie sagas. And, if you really don't believe me, watch Ninjago. Watch this show. Watch it and see why I think it's the best franchise ever created. And again, I haven't seen every franchise, but for every effing thing I have seen, this is by far, and you know how much I love Star Wars and all that, Marvel stuff and DC. Ninjago is by far the best. So, honestly, as Crystalized goes from, 1 to, I don't remember what I gave 1 to 12, but 13 through 30, I'm going to give it a 10 as well. I think it was very, very well done. The humor was good, the action was great, the animation was fantastic, everything about it was perfect. And if I'm honestly going to rate the Ninjago show as a whole, maybe Day of the Departed, Season 7, Hands of Time weren't the strongest, but nothing in the show was overall bad, where I look at it and I go, oh, that sucked, or that wasn't that good, or, you know what I mean? Again, Season 7, Hands of Time is my least favorite season, but it's not bad. It's just compared to the others, not as strong. So I'm honestly going to give Ninjago a 10 out of 10. This is by far the best franchise I've ever seen. Best show, best everything, man. I can't talk enough about it. So if you want me to cover any more Ninjago content, please tell me in the comment section down below. Anything. Past, present, future, what spin-offs, favorite season, favorite episode, whatever. Please tell me. So I want to talk about Ninjago, okay? Now that it's officially kind of over for now, at least this saga is over, I don't know really what is coming next in 2023, but, this was a very strong conclusion. So again, 10 out of 10 across the board. I couldn't be happy with how it ended. Again, maybe I wouldn't have added Sally's song, but it didn't detract anything. I just personally would have chosen a different song if I was ahead of that, but it wasn't a negative. So overall, man, I really did enjoy it, and, Ninjago is just fantastic. It's a big part of my life in terms of franchises, and it's just crazy that it's over, you know what I mean? Like, I don't get emotional watching much, but Ninjago, man, it always gets me in this ending, man. I didn't cry, but I wanted to. Like, I was just dying inside. I'm like, it's so good, but it's over, you know what I mean? I didn't want it to end, and, the fact that they didn't make it woke, or they didn't make it kiddie, or they didn't make it dumb, or they, like, canceled it or something, halfway through the season, the fact that we actually got, like, a defining end for this franchise so far, this current saga storyline, is just, it like Wu said, it's remarkable. You know what I mean? I never thought this would happen, What started out as just a Lego toy about spinning and saying, Ninjago, and just spinning it, And yeah, the toy was always meant for every age group too, but the fact that they made a kick-ass show out of toys, and, isn't a toy commercial? It technically is, but, you don't watch Ninjago and they don't go, buy our toy, You watch it and you want to buy the toys because it's a good show and it's worth watching. So please tell me in the comments down below what your favorite Ninjago season is out of all 15. Mine would still be Sons of Garmadon, Season 8, but I think Crystalized might be second best. I don't know. Really enjoyed it. Again, Ninjago's fantastic and I can't wait to talk about more of it. And I'm very glad that this show ended on a very high note and I couldn't ask for anything better. Thank you guys and we'll see you in the next video.